Hello and welcome to Sit, Sip and Share by ESN Oz. For the Erasmus Days around the globe, we are celebrating mobility and cultural exchange from 9th to 14th October. I have two guests with us, Solveig and Awo, and they will be talking with us and sharing their experiences in different countries. They did some exchange semester and some summer internships. Alright, thank you so much. Welcome to our Sit, Sip and Share with ESN Oz. And we are sitting, we have our beverages to sip, and then we'll be sharing our experiences. Okay, so before we start anything further, I just want to ask, how are you feeling today? And what's your favorite cozy beverage, for example?
I feel quite good today. I met ESN on a stand randomly today. It was a nice encounter, and now I'm sitting here with you.
It's a pleasure.
And I'm having my favorite beverage right now, hot chocolate.
Nice.
I am also feeling quite well, a little nervous, but I'm also very excited to be here. And my favorite beverage, I think, would be maybe cappuccino, just standard cappuccino.
Okay, so not like a usual Norwegian student, a dark black coffee.
No.
For a change.
Oh,
Nice.
it's a little bit bitter to me. Yeah.
Interesting. We are very grateful that you are sparing some time to share your experiences with us. Okay, so because our viewers might be wondering who are these guests, so if you can introduce yourself, telling us what are you studying, which year are you studying, and what is your favorite pastime activity apart from studies?
I can start. My name is Awo. I am a student at NMBU, obviously, and I study with Navneet. I'm doing a master's in data science, and this is my final year. So I would say that maybe my favorite pastime, although a little bit expensive, is traveling. But I cannot afford that every time, so
But you're studying data science. Very soon you will be earning big money.
hopefully I'll make it my number one pastime.
Nice. Very good luck. Lykke til, as we say in Norwegian.
Tusen takk.
Nice. And over to you.
Hi, I'm studying engineering and renewable energies, and I'm also in my 5th year. So yeah, it's soon to be my master thesis.
Nice.
And my favorite pastime hobby, I mean, it's a little difficult to decide because I have a lot of hobbies that I like to do. But I think my main ones would be doing like arts and crafts in many different kinds. I have a little too many projects going on.
Next on our cue card, we have getting to know you guys. So, what's better than asking facts about yourself that not many people know? So, Solveig, if you can share like a fact about yourself that only maybe your secret friends just know, or maybe now our viewers.
One thing not many people know about me is that I can wriggle my ears without touching them.
Okay,
Yeah.
can you do that?
I can
Honest?
try, but yeah, when I tense up, it's a little hard. But
I can see that. I don't know if in the
I
video
can.
we can capture that. Yes.
yeah,
Nice. You require a lot of focus for that.
yeah. I
Okay,
mean,
like,
just something fun, working on when you grow up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And for Avo, we have a different question. What's your favorite way to unwind after a long day of studies or work?
I really want to say call my friends and complain to them, but that's such a negative way to unwind. So maybe my second favorite way to unwind is watch my favorite series or movie.
Nice. And what is that you're currently watching?
Oh, that's tragic. No, currently I watch a lot of YouTube. So I watch like this guy that cuts hair and watches people failing to bleach their hair.
Okay. I am planning to bleach my hair
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I am only the unaware person. Because I'm planning to bleach my hair to some different colors. So maybe I
You
will
should
get
watch
some.
him if you plan to do that yourself.
I take that as a plus one. Alright, moving further, we'll talk about your journeys, how they started. Okay. So can you one by one talk about like how did you decided about your time outside Norway? For example, for you, how did you decided about having an exchange in Spain? And then maybe if you can also talk about that how how did you found out about this exchange semester, and then why Spain?
Okay, so firstly, I got to know about the opportunity to study abroad. Mostly, I think, from friends and family, and a lot of people talk about it as a very good opportunity and a good experience for self-development.
Okay.
And one of my very good friends, she went to Austria, and she talked very highly of it. And then I started to wanting to travel myself. But I was really set on traveling to some Spanish-speaking country because I had Spanish in high school, and I really wanted to keep on developing my Spanish skills. So to me, it was either like going to Spain or nothing at all.
So you already had like a language experience, so it was easier for you to adjust to the culture there or to the people at the university.
Yeah, a little bit, because then, although I had forgotten a lot of things, then it was like an easy refresh, and I could, get by pretty much with the little Spanish I knew. So it wasn't that difficult.
Alright. And for Awo, since you haven't done like an exchange semester, but rather you have done like an internship abroad, how did you find out about that, and then how was your like the beginning of your research?
Well, I found out about my internship via ESTE, their local committee in Os, having a stand talking about whether or not students wanted an opportunity to have a summer job abroad. So that's how I found out about the organization that sent me to my internship. And they were also the ones helping me apply and organizing my application as well as receiving me in the country that I had my internship in.
Okay, so you have like a ISTA board in all the countries?
ESTE is represented in different universities,
Okay.
and we're represented in most European countries.
Nice.
ESTE OS were the ones that organized my going to internship, and ESTE Verno were the ones that welcomed me and helped me settle.
Interesting. Okay, that's very similar to what ESN does, because we welcome students from different European countries and also from overseas, Asia, America, where we don't have like ESN sections, but these ESN local chapters, they welcome the students and then make their initial days smooth so that they adapt to the different culture. Nice, that's very similar, but then talking about that, it was just like a few months of internship,
Yes.
and then what was your role as an intern?
I worked with a research group at the university in Brno, doing computer vision and machine learning for those purposes. So I had an internship that was very related to what I studied, data science. So I found that very interesting, and also very an opportunity to learn quite a lot as well.
Okay, and one more question: is it possible for like international exchange students to find internships in Norway? Because sometimes some of the European students who come from outside countries, for example Netherlands, they want to stay a bit longer. After their, let's say, if they come for a spring semester here, they want to find like an internship here in Norway, want to stay here. So does IST help them to find some internship here?
I think there are two ways such students can apply for internships in Norway. We have two types of internships. Some that are available the entire year,
Okay.
whereas we have also internships that are only for shorter periods of time, like for example the summer, or our internships can be between 4 to 52 weeks, I think.
Okay. 4 to 52 weeks.
So even the shorter ones can be quite long. And they can either apply for internships via their local committee, or they can apply for internships on our global website. And those are year-round internships. So I would say that there are opportunities for such students as well.
That's a
And-
great piece of information.
Yeah. And again, like in the same way that ESN is an international organization, ESTA is as well. So I think we're quite open for international students applying.
Nice. Thank you for sharing this information, because some of students, they are not aware that we have a section from IST who is focusing on summer internships. Alright, before we move to the next section, we can also take a sip of your favorite beverage, which is hot chocolate. Alright, next we have memorable moments. So Solveig, if you can recall like a funny or unexpected moment from your time in Spain, that still brings a smile to your face?
I think that I would have to say the first time me and my friends hang out at the park in Valencia. It was quite special because I would start hanging out with these friends that I hadn't hanged out with before, and we had so much fun. So although I can talk about a specific thing that happened, it was like we had so much fun just hanging out in the park, and it just became a regular thing. We would always go to the park and have a picnic.
So these friends you made like in Spain when you went there, or were these friends like with you from NMBU who went on exchange?
No, there were actually other exchange students from different countries.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were me and two girls from Germany and one guy from girl from Sweden.
Nice.
They were really, really nice, and we hung out the whole semester. We had a lot of classes together.
Are you in still touch with them?
Yeah, a little bit, but it's hard to find time to talk.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Nice. And for Awo, if you can share like any heartwarming memory that you have during your summer internship.
I would say maybe it's from one of the weekends where we spent, me and other interns, spent hiking mountains in Slovakia, which is the neighboring country of the Czech Republic. So I'd never climbed a mountain, I had no experience, I was not the only intern who had no experience. So we were just a bunch of interns trying to do something we hadn't done before.
That's hard to believe since you are from the land of mountains, Norway. Interesting. Nice. Moving on to our next section, which is favorite cultural discoveries. So let me figure out. Yes. We'll start with Solveig again. So, what's one Spanish dish or tradition you fell in love during your exchange semester?
One of the most traditional dishes from Valencia is their paella, which is kind of it's like fried rice, and it could either be like chicken or some kind of meat, or you could do like fish or vegetables. Yes.
Is it like a curry that you add on top of the rice, or is it like everything cooked together?
No, it's like everything cooked together, and then you have some spices with the rice and vegetables and
what's it called?
paella.
Paella.
Yeah, paella. It's really good, and it's like typical Valencian too. And the Valencians are so proud of this dish. Like every family have their own. They would have their own recipe, and everyone would be like, our recipe is the best. And yeah, you can speak shit about the Valencians, but the one thing you can't speak bad about is the paella.
Okay.
It was I liked it so much. I actually bought a Spanish cookbook that, amongst other dishes, had paella, so I can make it myself.
Yes, that was like one of your souvenirs that you took from Spain.
One of a few. Yeah.
Good. And for you, Awo, did you discover any unique Czech custom or festival that you found fascinating, or wish you were like widespread?
I feel like the town that I resided in, Brno, had quite a lot of quirks about it. For example, they every year have something called the Planet Festival, which is simply just out in the middle of the night. They have blown up these big balloons of the moon and Earth that light up in the dark. So it can be quite romantic if you're there. Yeah. And I think it's quite a unique festival that occurs there. We weren't there either, or it occurred after we had left. But they also have a serial killer festival in Brno.
Serial killer festival in Brno.
Yeah, and if I understood the placard correctly, it was simply just this event where you get to hear stories about famous serial killers, apparently.
That's interesting. And this happens during summer?
I was there during the summer, so the last one I mentioned, I think, was during the autumn, which was when I had left.
Okay.
But small everyday things that I discovered was that they have their own version of Coca-Cola called Cafola.
Cafola?
Yeah. And it's a strange thing. It's quite strange.
Does it taste like cola?
It tastes like cola with yeast in it. That's the only way I can describe it.
Cola with yeast in it. I would still want to try if I'm traveling there.
Yeah.
And I hope many of our viewers are interested to try this. What is it called? Sofola?
Cafola.
Cafola, not Sofola. Okay. Nice. Moving on further, we have a section of language adventures. So, Solveig,
Solveig.
yes. Did you pick any fun Spanish phrases or slang that you still use?
Well, yes, but I'm not sure I can tell some of them here.
Okay, they are not. Okay, we can just
But-
keep those two.
One more casual slang word that I learned to use was the slang word for weekend. Weekend in Spanish is fin de semana, but in Spanish they shorten it down to fin de.
Finde.
Fin de.
Nice. This is
So-
my second Spanish word that I learned today.
Oh.
Gracia and finde.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Yes.
Interesting. And for Awo, were there any challenging Czech words or phrases that you found amusing or interesting? Have you tried to recite but it was difficult?
I was actually told that the Czech language is among the hardest ones to learn in the world.
So you didn't try
So
it?
I
or-
didn't even try. I can say please, which is prosim.
See?
And I think me and this other intern were a bit confused. She said that cheers is prosit, which is bless you in English. So we would say that when doing the cheers, and we're not sure if that was right or not.
Okay. Maybe you have to check with Google Translator.
And I also learned to say good day because when you're out in the woods hiking, if someone passes you, you greet
Just a
them.
good day.
So dobry den is
Okay. Can you slowly say that? Dobry den?
dobry den.
Dobry den.
Mm.
Interesting. Nice. Moving on to our next section. You can have more sips. Nice. Okay, so we have couch confessions now. And let's get cozy. So imagine we are all hanging out on a couch. So it's for the viewers. So let's imagine that we are all hanging out on a couch in a cozy corner cafe. So Solveig, if you could invite any historical figure to join us on the couch today, who would that be and why?
I find that to be such a difficult question because there's so many people you can choose from.
Yes.
Like living or dead.
Yes, I think I would keep the options open.
I mean, I'm kind of curious how it would be to talk to Einstein. Yeah, it would be
Nice.
kind of funny to discuss physics theory with him.
Have a nice time.
Yeah.
Okay. And for you, Awo, what's a skill or hobby you have always wanted to learn but haven't had the chance to yet try?
I hope to learn how to sew or
How to?
sew.
How to sew?
Yeah.
See?
sew.
Suit clothes. Because I've always had the problem of trying on clothes and seeing that they don't fit, or having the arms too long, too short. So I hope that's something I can learn once I'm done with studying.
Nice. Fixing clothes. Yes. I was very lucky my mom used to do that because for me it was same case. The clothes were just overfitting or just too short for me. Interesting.
I mean, you can just come by someday and have them.
Really?
Nice. We can see we are having some friendships building up on our sip and share.
I
That's
will
nice.
take you up on that
Yes,
offer.
yeah.
Okay, so next section is sip, sit, share favorites. And then for Solveig we have what's your favorite type of coffee or tea and how do you like it to enjoy it best?
Okay, so I think my favorite coffee would be like a latte or cappuccino if I want to indulge, maybe with some syrups. Normally, though, I would just go for some, dried coffee and warm water because I don't have time to make a latte. For tea, I really like Earl Grey with a splash of milk and just a little bit of sugar.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's something I can just sit and enjoy with a good book or a good series or
Nice. Do you have like a setup that if you want to enjoy it the best way? Like sitting near the window, your legs on top of a
Yeah.
couch.
I would love to, if I have some free time these days, sit in the living room at our dorm because we had a big window, and since I live on the fourth floor, we get a lot of sky and a nice view, and I can just sit and watch autumn weather, even if it's raining or if it's windy, and maybe just also put some earphones on and just with my noise cancelling earphones and just block
All the noise.
everything else out and put on some music and just relax.
That seems like a good meditation to do. I wish you find some time to do it in the future. Nice. And for Awo, do you have like a favorite book or movie that you find yourself coming back to whenever you need like a bit of comfort or inspiration?
There's this one French movie called The Incredibles, or Intouchables. Yeah, The Intouchables.
Intouchables.
Yeah, which is very heartwarming, funny, and a bit rude at times as well. So that is my go-to movie if I'm having a bad day.
That is such a nice movie.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't get much time to watch these, but these days I'm watching this French series Lupin.
Oh, Lupin, it's the same actor in the Intouchables.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
so you should watch him.
Oh, nice.
Yes, okay. then that's on the next list. Perfect. Moving on to our next section is our dreamy destinations. So, Solveig, if you could teleport to any place in the world right now, where would you go and what would you do there? Like right now.
Like right now, I would probably travel to South Korea. I think the culture is so interesting, and it's very much different as a place I've always wanted to go to. So I think probably just experience the country, and especially like Jeju Island. I've heard so much about it, and it's supposed to be really pretty.
Nice. And then I think we would not change the question forever.
That place would be maybe Japan. Simply because I met some Japanese interns during the summer, but I've always been fascinated by the culture and the country as well. And it just seems like a very, very different place to be. Maybe a bit outside my comfort zone, but I think I'd very much like to.
I know a fact about Japan. There is this island. It's called Okinawa.
Yeah.
And then on an average, the most number of centurions, like people who live more than 100 years, they are from that island. Since because they have very simplistic lifestyle and they don't have much of stress and tension, and they live very longer than compared to any other human being on the earth.
I think I read about that island as well, or saw a video.
Okay.
I think they live in like communities as well,
Yes.
and that is like a way of keeping them live longer because they're social
True.
all up to their older years.
I read this in a book called Ikigai.
Yeah. Ikigai is
Yes.
an expression that comes from there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. It's a wonderful book to read. If you're into reading, I would recommend that. Alright, moving on to our next section. To wrap up our cozy chat, if you would send a message back in time to yourself just before your international journey, what advice or encouragement would you give to yourself?
Should I start? Firstly, I would say listen to your gut.
Listen to your
Listen to your gut.
gut.
Personally.
Okay.
Listen to your gut feeling. It's right like 99% of the time. And secondly, I would say everything's gonna be alright. It's gonna work itself out in the end. I had a lot of worries before I went, but everything turned out okay in the end.
Sometimes you just need to change your environment, and sometimes you figure out living a totally different life in a different country that everything happens for a reason. I totally agree on that. Nice, what a wonderful piece of advice to yourself. And forever, what would that be?
I think much of the same that you said. I would tell myself not to worry as much because I was very nervous before leaving, and I felt like the initial 2 weeks I wasn't very enjoying myself as much as I could have, simply because I was worried about getting late to work, not taking the right tram, not impressing my coworkers. But I would tell myself not to worry about those things because I met quite nice people during my internship, quite accommodating people as well.
It's always a benefit. Alright, so if you want to like give some advice to our viewers, we can start with you, Awo. Like if they are planning a summer job or an internship abroad, outside Norway, so what would be your like key advices for them?
The first advice I would give them is to look into IAST now, today. simply because then they can get to influence what countries they want to go to and what countries will manage to get jobs in. And I would also tell them step out of your comfort zone. Even if it's not your dream destination, you can learn quite a lot by going there. I hadn't anticipated that going to the Czech Republic would be as good as it was, but I still chose to do it and I don't regret it. So I think those are my two top advices. Look into it now and be open to what country you end up in.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. And then for Solveig, what would you recommend local Norwegian students at NMBU if they're planning their exchange, not just in Spain, like anywhere else in the world?
Advice?
Yeah.
I would actually give advice to when doing the application process, because that can be quite extensive, but don't worry, it's gonna be fine. It might seem like a lot, but as long as you kind of open the emails and read them and kind of get an overview of the deadlines, everything's gonna be fine. And I did not have all of my subjects lined up when I got there. Many people haven't even gotten their apartment before they get down there. So, but it works out in the end. Yeah, wonderfully enough, and people are very accommodating. So if you have questions, go to your student counselor or your contact person in the Erasmus network.
Okay, and then if one more thing, if I can ask you, Solveig,
Yeah.
is there any department at NMBU that helps closely to these students who are interested for an exchange? So did you
Yes.
got any help from any department?
Yes, well, there is an Erasmus department with wonderful counselors. They are so nice and so welcoming and so warm, and they have no problem at all giving you advice. Of course, they can't always answer anything, but they were such a big help for me, both when I was here in Norway in the application process, but also in the first weeks when I got to Spain. Yes. So those people you will get in contact with when you start your application process.
Nice. Thank you so much. With that, I think we don't have any further questions to ask. On behalf of Erasmus Student Network from International, I'm really grateful that you guys came to our first episode of Sit, Sip and Share. And together we are celebrating mobility, and we have something from VS and OS to gift you guys for sparing your wonderful time and sharing what you felt, and then also giving a lot of advices to people who might plan their exchange or summer internship abroad. So we have our ESN beanies. I will quickly gather these for you. There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Alright, and we are hoping that we'll have wonderful episodes in coming days promoting Erasmus Days across the globe. Like, share and subscribe. I don't know why I said that, but bye bye.